Evening, everybody. You know, I've read a lot of things from other people, and one person that I've talked about mainly a lot is GBS, or Gameboysage, who's on here is Gameboy 0001, I believe. But anyway, they did a review, one of their journals, the most recent journals that they did, and I apologize to Games if, to GBS right off the bat. I'm just going to read, not your review, but I'm going to read what you had to say about the traitor situation. And if you guys want to read GBS's review, go ahead and click on the link down below, that will be provided below. But yeah, GBS has been very, in a way, outspoken. GBS is one of those fans out there that's kind of felt that Ian needs to really pick up the slack, pick it up a little bit, not, be so lazy in his writing as they look at it, and, not be so, like, just wanting to go for the shock value deal. I mean, I can understand that he's, perhaps Ian's doing this because because there's newer readers out there, and the newer readers need to be shocked a little bit about what's happening. So, maybe that's it. But anyway, again, you can read the review down below that they did for 241. But this is what they say about the traitor situation. And it's very short, but this is what they say, and I quote. This is what they say, and I quote. Normally, I don't talk about the Sonic Universe comics in my reviews, but something pretty big happened in it that needs to be brought up that could heavily affect the main comic as a whole. At the end of the latest Sonic Universe issue, at the end of the latest SU comic, Sonic Universe, Silver is talking about his quest to find the traitor, to which Harvey Who comes up with a picture of the original 4 freedom fighters, crosses off Antoine's face, and then hands it to Silver after crossing out 2 more faces, leaving 1 left. The person Harvey believes is the traitor leaves Silver in shock, and Harvey claims that he will then explain why he thinks the person he left over is the traitor. At first this sounds gripping and intense, right? But the problem is the 3 X's bleed through the photos. But the problem is the 3 X's bleed through the photos, and we very blatantly see that he thinks Sally is the traitor. There is absolutely no way to think otherwise based on the art presented to us. So based on this one panel and those 3 little X's, there are 3 possible outcomes I can think of. 1. Sally ends up being a traitor, which means Silver's traitor subplot. Okay, but 1. This is the first outcome they see. 1. Sally ends up being a traitor, which means Silver's traitor subplot turns into the most pointless and stupid story ever put into the comic, due to the fact that Sally isn't a traitor and isn't even brainwashed, but a prisoner of her own mind, completely aware and horrified of what her body is doing, while she is helpless to do anything about it. Needless to say, this is a big possibility at this point in time. But I really hope Ian Flynn is more creative than this, and proves he has at least a little more skill than making Mecha Sally the traitor. Okay. I'm sorry it's late and everything. I'm working on my mom's paper too, so. But this is what they said. But I really hope Ian Flynn is more creative than this, and proves he has at least a little more skill than making Mecha Sally the traitor we've been hearing about for years now. Number two, this is the second possible outcome they see. Harvey thinks it's Sally, but ends up being wrong. Well, Harvey didn't select her because he thinks she's a traitor, but thinks she's the reason for why the traitor does what he does to destroy the world. This one is also pretty possible, but in an arc that is already way too long and has crammed way too much shock value down our throats for way too long, do we really need a new shocking twist thrown in when we could have actual relevant story put into these few precious pages used purely to fool us? Especially when Flynn already has too many storylines going on at the same time as is. Now here's the third and final possibility. The art completely lies to us when it comes to looking back at this point in time. The X's will magically change around and show us that it's actually Sonic or Rotor that don't have the X. In parentheses they say, Antron was shown crossed out point blank, so it can't be him. I really hope this one doesn't come up as true, because if it is, it proves my point that it is almost entirely pointless and useless to hypothesize the direction Flynn goes with his stories, because he will put things in that he will just ignore or change later on the pure purpose of messing with our heads. This would be a very unprofessional move and would just hurt his credibility all the more. So here's hoping he can actually make something better come out of this than the three possibilities I've listed above. So yeah, all that because of three little X's that really shouldn't have shown up in the art at all. If you guys can think of a fourth outcome or more options for the outcome of this that doesn't make Flynn look like he's written himself into a rather disappointing and anticlimactic corner, feel free to mention them below because I'm out of ideas. And then they go right into the review. And then again, I will provide the link to this along with this because it has the review as well as the thoughts on the traitor all put into one journal. And again, I apologize to GBS. I should have asked you, but you know, I got a lot to do. I wanted to get this out of the way. But you know, GBS does bring up a good point. I mean, you know, what they said about, you know, they do bring up good points, and and that's their opinion. They have a right to it. You know, and they're right about the whole Mecha Sally thing. I mean, the first outcome would basically be turning this whole thing into nothing more than, oh, wait a minute, so you roboticized Sally, you roboted into a story to where fans would look back on it and go like, oh, so he just roboticized and weaponized Sally in issue 230, at the end of issue 230 and the end of 232, just to make her the traitor that Silver's been talking about for the past few years since Ian Flynn brought him into the comics. You know, and to me it'd be, way too obvious. I get that. But again, one of the things that GBS said, and I've said it before, and I will provide the link to GBS if they want to look at it themselves. All he's doing is he's got you right where he wants you. He has you dead to right. He knows what he's doing. See, Ian Flynn knows people are going to go and write stuff like this down. He knows that. He knows people are going to say that kind of stuff. And why? Because it's all about getting you right where he wants you. And if he has you right where he wants you, then he knows he's done his job. So, honestly, I don't know what else to tell you, but, I will provide the link down below. They have a YouTube channel. I'll try to find it and provide the link to that as well. So you could talk to them, communicate with them if you want on both ends. And kind of like they asked, kind of give them an idea, maybe a fourth or fifth option of what you think could be the outcome. I mean, I basically told them I wouldn't be surprised if Ian Flynn does something like a time travel deal. Because if what people say about Ian Flynn is true, about him having Eggman basically cut Sally up and do what he did to her, which I don't believe, but we'll have to wait and see about that. Then the only possible way to save her is to go back in time, grab her before the roboticizer beam hits, and save her. You know, just saying. But, you know, go ahead and comment down below, respond if you like. Let me and anybody else know what you guys think about it. Do you agree with what they said on here? And if you do, let us know down below.